Hi everyone! It's been a while. That happens sometimes, but lately there have been so many movie-related sales that I've been participating in and getting stuff, so this is going to be a movie haul. I did film a couple of videos last month, but then I was like, looking back on them and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna post them, but I should edit them and put them up anyway for content and also for more like practice with editing, because I feel like just as you keep doing it, the better you get. Also, just this month is like really busy for me, so I don't know how much other content I'm going to be putting out. If you're wondering, the two videos that I ended up filming were finally my favorite books that I read in 2020, which, like, honestly isn't that great, which is why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to put it up. I realized I really just wanted to talk about, like, my top two favorite books, which I had kind of already talked about in previous videos, and that was, like, the problem is, one, I just waited too long to do it, so I needed to, like, refresh my memory on books that I didn't end up doing. I just ended up talking about them and being like, well, I waited too long. And then I had previous videos where I already talked about the books, some of the books somewhat, so yeah, there's that. And then I also filmed a vlog. It was supposed to be a reading vlog, mostly, where I read a book, but I also dyed my hair and made cupcakes, but then I also watched a movie. And then I had more to say about the movie than I did about the book, but it can just be a regular vlog where I was just doing stuff, so I can edit those clips together and post that vlog and then post my favorite books of 2020. So they are what they are. I have not edited them yet, but I'm thinking I should just put them up anyway. So anyway, lots of sales have been happening, and I do actually have a Kino order. It's been processed, it hasn't shipped yet, and I was just like, this is already a lot to talk about in one video, so I'm just gonna wait until that arrives and then film that haul video, most likely. I know some things about these movies, and I don't know things about some of them. Did that make sense? So, warning for you, like, don't be upset if I'm like, I don't really know about this. I don't usually get comments like that, but I know that there are other people who have, I don't know. I feel like this is just a common thing. Like, it doesn't even matter if I'm watching a booktube video or like a film channel. Like, people buy things that they don't really know that much about, and that's what they prefer. So anyway, that's my sort of like disclaimer here. First, I'm going to start off with what I got during the indicator sale. Like, I know there have been more recent indicator sales, but I made this purchase like in November or December, so it's been a while. And this was my first indicator purchase, which was great. Two of these things are limited editions. From what it seems, I could be wrong on this, so someone can correct me in the comments if I am wrong. I'll pin it or something like that. But from what it looks like is that they have limited editions of everything, and then once the limited editions are sold out, then they release things just in a standard edition. So one of these things here is a box set, and again, from what it looked like looking at the site, is that the titles that are in box sets later on are released as just individual standard releases. Again, from what I can tell, I think the difference in limited and standard editions are the packaging, or like what kind of case it comes in, and then the artwork. At least I'll show you a little bit of something, and then like a booklet. I don't know if, I would assume they wouldn't include more special features on one compared to on like the limited edition compared to the regular, because to me that's like, well, now you have to manufacture two different discs, and that seems dumb to me, but I don't know. So there could be like different supplements on limited editions compared to standard editions. I don't know for sure. But yeah, the first thing that I got, this was like the thing that I mostly wanted, was the Marlene Dietrich and Joseph von Sternberg box set, which I'm pretty sure these 6 films are the same films that are in the Criterion box set, but this has more supplements, and mostly Vanessa, was talking about it a lot, and she convinced me to get it, so I got it. And the 6 films that are in this are Morocco, Dishonored, Shanghai Express, Blonde Venus, The Scarlet Empress, and The Devil is a Woman. So Yes, at Paramount, 1930 to 1935. And so this box set is limited edition. I got number 2,955 of 6,000. I don't know how many is left, so, like, sorry about that. But a lot of other people were talking about this, so hopefully you didn't miss out, I guess. The thing about this release, though, is that it is Region B, so you have to be in the UK or have a region-free player to watch it. And I'll just quickly show you the like covers, individual covers for these. I don't know about these films, but I'm looking forward to like diving into all of them. I haven't watched them yet, I guess. Mostly because my brother is always on the TV that the region free player is hooked up to, and like I've thought about maybe bringing it upstairs, like in my room for a bit, but I haven't done that. And then lastly, this booklet is included, which is like pretty thick. Oh, it has like a nice size text though. I like that when it's not too small. Yeah, it's more than 100 pages, so that's nice. And then I got 2 more releases because I was already, like, I knew I was going to get the box set for sure, and then I didn't know if I was going to get anything else, but then shipping was like $20. So I was like, no, I'm going to get more because if shipping's going to be that expensive, I'd rather kind of like do bulk order sort of situations. You know, no one would, I don't think anyone would go to a website and purchase one thing and then have shipping be $20 and then wait to make other purchases. Like, that's no. So I added 2 more individual releases to my cart. One of them is limited, so I'll show that one first, I guess. I don't know. These also have spine numbers, the way that Criterion also does. And the spine numbers for, the box set doesn't have an individual spine number, but the films within the set are 130 to 135. And so this one is spine number 35. It's the limited edition of The Pumpkin Eater with Anne Bancroft. I haven't watched this yet. It's based on a book by Penelope, right? Yes, Penelope Mortimer. I haven't gotten the book yet and read that. So actually, it was like out of stock. I was like, who's buying The Pumpkin Eater? Because it's like a classic. So I was kind of like, what has prompted this decades-old novel to be out of stock suddenly? But I don't know, maybe I want to get the Penguin Modern Classics edition, so maybe Penguin was like, you know, they've been redoing the covers and stuff, so maybe that's why. This gives me like The Bell Jar, which is my favorite book, and Lizzie, The Bird's Nest sort of vibes, where essentially a woman has to have a stay at a mental institution, or like has a mental breakdown. Wow. Okay. That's a genre that I really like, if you can call it a genre. But yeah, so dealing with this was on the Criterion channel for a bit. In the collection that was like psychiatry on frame of mind, psychiatry on film. I think that's what it was called. But I didn't watch it because I want to read the book first. So, yes. And then on the back, yeah, it says limited edition Blu-ray special features. But again, to me, that just seems dumb to manufacture like 2 different discs. But I don't know, maybe this disc does have more special features than the standard edition will have. I don't know if it's sold out or not. So, yeah, when I open this up, there's the disc, and then here's a booklet. And then on the inside, there's also alternate artwork. So you can flip that around, but I like just this one. So yes. Okay. And then, so as a comparison, this is a standard edition. So it has like that bar up top where it just says Blu-ray. It still has like a clear case though, which I really like. And then you open it and it's just promoting other indicator releases and no booklet. So yeah, And then, yeah, on the back it says Indicator Blu-ray edition special features. So I don't know if this doesn't have things that were on the limited edition. Again, I'll clarify that in a comment or in the description, or someone else can clarify that, and I'll like pin their comment or something maybe. But this is spine number 75, and this is Suddenly Last Summer. I'm sorry, the disc is like rattling. You can really hear, at least I can really hear it, so sorry if you can hear it. I was gonna say something else too. Oh, these ones, did I mention that the box set is region B? Yeah, I did mention that. But these are region A, B, and C, so that's nice because then I can watch them in my room. And Suddenly Last Summer I have seen before, but not since like high school, and I don't remember what like prompted me to like look into it more, but something got me more interested in Tennessee Williams plays. And so there's quite a number of books that I've been looking at getting recently, including The Pumpkin Eater and Suddenly Last Summer, which is a play specifically. But yeah, I'm looking at getting the play and then reading that and then rewatching the adaptation here. And there's a couple more Tennessee Williams plays that I got film adaptations of that will be coming up. From what I can remember, the only thing is that these don't tell me what the film is about, so I can't like refresh my memory. Suddenly Last Summer I know has to do with the main character, Elizabeth Taylor's character in this edition, in this adaptation. I think she's like looking back on this summer in Italy. Yeah, obviously, Suddenly Last Summer. So she's looking back on last summer and something that happened with her cousin Sebastian. And like, that's what I remember the most, especially because I remember I took an acting class my freshman year of high school, and all the time we would have to like look up monologues, and I don't remember what film the monologue was from, but there was a monologue that I had read, and like I think it was one that I actually performed. It had to do with the character that I was playing, and she was like auditioning for the play of Suddenly Last Summer, and she goes into like details of what happens with Sebastian, and so that's like the most memorable part of the play and of the film. But it's like major, like if you don't know, then that's going to be really shocking. Wild. So that's all I'm going to say. But this also, I mean, what a cast. Elizabeth Taylor, Katharine Hepburn, Montgomery Clift. Great. Just 3 names and I'm like, yes. So that was some things I got from the Indicator sale. Again, back in like November, December. I'm not sure what the situation is with the limited editions. I know they've had more recent sales and stuff though too. So, and then in February was the Criterion flash sale. So I got 2 things, one really big thing. But then first, I got Solo, which is brave. So I know that like there's a bunch of people that are not interested in this and do not want to watch it and such. I am though, like not really for the content of the film, but just the whole, like, how it's controversial and just also, like, what it is like as an adaptation of Saad's work. And this is another situation where I would like to read the book first. And then also, mostly I'm really interested in watching the supplements that are on this, and just, like, also looking more into the making of the film. And again, like, why it's I mean, I know why, I at least partially know why it's controversial, just because of the content, and subject matter and such. But the sort of, like, history and, like, significance of the film is what I'm most interested in pertaining to the film. And also, I mean, this was on my wish list to get at some point, but I noticed it on the Criterion website that it was like unavailable every once in a while for like short periods of time here and there. And I was like kind of thinking that might be going out of print, but don't quote me on that. I don't really know for sure. It just was weird that every once in a while I would be on the Criterion website and then it would be unavailable. And then I would look back again and it'd be in stock and then it'd be unavailable again. And I was like, what is happening? So I don't know. Just something I noticed. Thought I would point out. Oh my God, you guys. I'm so upset that I don't have Rosemary's Baby. The Paramount films that are recently have recently gone out of print from Criterion. I have La Dolce Vita. I already forgot the ones, but I have like a few of them. And then I think there's one that I like could take or leave, but Rosemary's Baby is one like I definitely wanted, and now it's out of print, which sucks. Oh, it sucks. Has anyone even gotten? Honestly, I didn't even know Paramount had their own label until it was like Paramount pulled these Criterion pulled these films from the Criterion collection because they're gonna have their own releases, and I'm like, can't we just have the Criterion editions, please? I don't know. So, like, if you have any of those Paramount releases, I'd love to know, like, what they're like and what your thoughts on them are. Because I'm hoping at least, as long as it isn't going completely out of print and we can't have a physical copy, like, I guess I don't mind so much as long as I can, like, have a copy of Rosemary's Baby. But if it's just going to be like, we're doing it for the streaming service, I'm going to be like, what? Really? But anyway, yeah, is that all I have to say? I think, this is the only film on the Criterion collection that I've ever gotten that blue sticker that says, warning, explicit content. Never have I seen that before. So, I mean, it's based on a work by the Marquise de Sade, who, like, that's where the term sadism comes from. So, oh, this is spine number 17, by the way. I just think it's so crazy because it's so, like, early in the collection. Sallow, or The 120 Days of Sodom. Interesting. I mean, maybe it's not interesting to some people, which again, I get. Totally fine. But mostly, you guys, I got the Bergman set. This is like what I mostly wanted, and I knew I was going to get a box set. I didn't know for sure if I didn't know how like soon things would go out of stock and be like back ordered and such. So if this was out of stock, I was going to get the Agnes Varda set, but it wasn't, so I got the Bergman set. Thankfully, I don't have too many other Bergman films individually. I have Persona, which is my favorite that I've seen. It was so good, like instant favorite. You guys, instant favorite. Like I remember watching it and just being like, this is one of my new favorite films. This was so good. And I have seen a few other works of his. I have Persona and the early Bergman Eclipse set, and then also Summer Interlude and Summer with Monica, but I didn't get to those before the Bergman set came out, so now I can just watch them in here and then watch all the supplements. I'm probably going to watch his films in chronological order of like when they were made and released and such, because that was my plan all along, but then I got really derailed by like other things happening in life and then thought of it as this huge project, and so that's, yeah, basically. I know that they have it sort of curated in their own way in the box set, but I'm not sure what that order is. And I'm not going to get into it anyway. So it's the Bergman set. Most people have this, I feel like, by now, but I'm just getting it. Honestly, I thought it was going to be bigger. It's kind of like smaller than I thought it was going to be. And it looks kind of big on screen, but I thought it was going to be bigger. Not complaining though. It's fine. It fits on my shelf, and that's what's good. Okay, and then we have, oh, sorry. What's happening? Okay, and then the lines are really bothering me, you guys. Okay, well, you guys. I just like how I always say, like, you guys. Next, I have some movies that I just randomly got off of eBay because I wanted them. So, first, we have the 2008 adaptation of Brideshead Revisited. I do have like I have watched this already. I have an entire Letterboxd review going into details of like what I think about it. It does kind of goes into spoilery details. I don't know. Like some may consider the details to be things that they wouldn't want to know if they haven't read the book or seen the film. So be a little wary about that, but I don't think I really say anything that is like spoilery. Anyway, because I've seen this, I'll tell you my thoughts a little bit. Not as much as my Letterboxd review, but I'll tell you what Brideshead Revisited is about, but also my thoughts and feelings, like, at the same time. So, Brideshead Revisited, there is a 1981 miniseries adaptation, by the way. Very good. Much better than this. But I can take this for what it is and respect what they respect and appreciate what they did here and decisions that they made, because they committed to them. I agree with one thing and don't agree with another. Like, I liked this, but also that one thing that I didn't like is not what I wanted in a Brideshead Revisited adaptation. So Brideshead is about Charles Ryder, who, in like the present, it's World War II, and he's looking back at his time at Brideshead, hence Brideshead Revisited. So, he's looking back at his time at Brideshead, which is, this like estate, like mansion estate. Like, I don't really understand how, British or English, like, nobility and like lords and ladies and such works. So, like, forgive me for that. The wording here is going to be like a little bit off, but essentially, when Charles is at university, he meets Sebastian Flight, and his family owns Brideshead, and that's like his family home and such. But he's Lord Sebastian Flight, and then like his mother is Lady Marchman and such. So I don't really know what that means. I don't really know how that works, but they own and live at Brideshead. As Charles becomes closer friends with Sebastian, they really like isolate themselves. Once they meet, they just like click and hit it off and isolate themselves from the rest of their friend group, essentially. And then one time, Sebastian brings Charles to Brideshead, and Charles is really fascinated by this whole world, because he's not as upper class as Sebastian is, and he just thinks Brideshead is beautiful, and he doesn't understand why Sebastian is like sort of keeping a distance between Charles and like his family and Brideshead, just as a place. But then you sort of, as Charles gets to know the family more and spends more time at Brideshead, he realizes, like, Sebastian doesn't have the greatest relationship with his family, specifically his mother, who is Catholic, and religion pretty much, like, runs her life. Like, she lives for her faith. And she's instilled her religion and her beliefs into her children, or at least tried to, but specifically Sebastian and his sister Julia have kind of rejected that, or tried to reject it, and struggle with religion a lot and Catholicism. And specifically in this adaptation, they make Sebastian gay. And something with Sebastian in at least the novel, and this is sort of my interpretation, but it's kind of out there a lot. A lot of discussion surrounding Brideshead Revisited is, were Charles and Sebastian just friends? Were they more than friends? What kind of relationship did they really have? Because there's implications there, sort of my opinion, but also, again, there's a lots of like articles and people like talking about this discussion and such. It's really like up to the reader's interpretation on how they see Sebastian and Charles' relationship. So to me, it's ambiguous, and I don't know. I don't personally, well, this isn't about the book, so I won't get into my feelings on the book, but I do like that they made that decision in the film, and because it also just adds to like why Sebastian is struggling so much and why his mom is so like oppressive with him. Just how Sebastian's character, like the trajectory of where he goes, like it just kind of makes it make more sense in a way, and it gives it another layer, essentially, instead of having that ambiguity. And I don't know. I like both things. I like both, though. I was gonna say like having that ambiguity and up to a viewer's interpretation, but I do like that as well. So it's not saying one thing is better than the other, but I do like that this adaptation made that decision and they stuck with it. And Ben Whishaw as Sebastian is so good. Like he's so good. He's honestly, like, I watched the 1981 miniseries and I was like, I can't picture anyone else as Charles or Sebastian. Anthony Andrews? I think is the actor who plays Sebastian in the miniseries, and then Jeremy Irons plays Charles. But also, Ben Whishaw is so good as Sebastian, especially this like interpretation of him that they take. So that's the thing that I really liked about this adaptation. The thing that I did not like is that they made Charles like super straight, and like basically later what happens after Charles is like learning about Sebastian's family more and how religion is such an important part of the family, and just overall like family dynamics that they have. Sebastian kind of fades away. I've said that so many times, but it's like the best way that I can describe it, because Sebastian like fades from the narrative a bit, and Julia comes into play more, and she's Sebastian's sister, and later on Charles and Julia have this relationship, but it like, to me, they're not really in love. They're just like getting together because they can, because of like, to me, my interpretation of at least the way it plays out in the novel, is that Charles is just trying to sort of like rekindle and like what he had and what he wanted with Sebastian, but Sebastian is no longer around, and so Julia is the next best thing, and Julia is just trying to like rebel from all these decisions that she's made in her life and just give in to something. Because like so often, like in the first part of the novel, like when you first meet her, she's super indifferent, which is kind of why I like don't feel that much for her, and why I don't understand why like Charles and Julia get together so much, but like why they get together. And then this adaptation goes and like turns it into a love story, and I'm like, no. I get into like details more in my Letterboxd review as to like how they frame it that way, but I was really just like not on board for that. And I don't think most people who want to watch a Brideshead Revisited adaptation, I don't think anyone's looking for a Julia Charles love story. But it's in here. Like he's running after her like multiple times. And I'm like, why are you running? It's like that Vine. Like, why are you running? Why are you running? Because that's what he was doing. And then Sebastian sees it, and you're like, no. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. But it was good. And also, it just like, I really loved the look of it overall. It made me really in the mood to watch more adaptations and more period pieces. And then also, because I wanted to watch more adaptations, I was like, I should really get on reading the classics and literary fiction that I have adaptations that I haven't watched yet, because I haven't read the books yet. But it was good. I mean, I'll definitely rewatch it again, so I don't like regret buying it or anything, but good, not great. I've said this before, but I'm very looking forward to what Luca Guadagnino does with his upcoming adaptation. It's going to be a miniseries, I think on HBO Max, but no, it's supposed to be a BBC miniseries. So I don't know where it'll be for people in America. But anyway, that's going to be filming this year, supposedly. So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing where that one goes. Because hopefully, like, I like that at least the adaptations have their own sort of interpretation or have their own stamp on, I don't know, just like the way that they have portrayed the story. So I hope that the new adaptation also kind of does its own thing and stands out and can be individual. Okay, so next I have a couple of Blu-rays, and one again is another adaptation. I don't know. Yeah, we're still in the pile of like things that I randomly got off of eBay. So next I got Atonement with this very shiny slipcover. Oh yeah, this one has a slipcover too, and I was like, I really like that I got these used and they have a slipcover. And in very good conditions, too. It literally just looks like they've been on my shelves this whole time. So, yes, Atonement from 2007. This movie is so good, even though I've only seen it once. I've been wanting to... Oh my god, I have so many things over here. What a mess. I've been wanting to reread the book. I have it here, by Ian McEwan. I read this in high school, and I remember, like, parts of the book, but I really would like to, like, get the details down again and just experience the writing, especially as I'm older and like more mature, and probably will be able to pick up on a lot more, especially the ending. I mean, granted, I know how it ends, but I did not get that. If you know what happens in Atonement, I did not get that when I read it. And it wasn't until I watched the film that I was like, oh, that's what happens? Oh my god. So, it tore my heart out, I'll tell you that. It's very sad. And there's so much to it, too. I didn't expect the book to go into so much detail about the family that is in, and like other characters besides like the two main characters, essentially. So, if you don't know what Atonement is about, it has to do with Bryony, who's like 10-ish, and she witnesses something happen between her older sister Cecilia and Robbie, who was like the groundskeeper's son, and so he also like helps out on the estate that Bryony and Cecilia's family live on. I'm pretty sure that's who he is. In any case, he's like a handyman kind of character, and Robbie and Cecilia like each other, and Bryony witnesses something happen between them, and because she's young and she doesn't fully understand things, as well as she's very imaginative, she writes stories and plays. That's like a major part of her character, is her imagination and how she makes up stories. So she tells this thing, she says something, and it just affects the rest of their lives because of something that she says, or like because of this thing that she sees and then says something about. Yeah, and this is just this is a really good film, but again, I've only seen it once. Jacqueline Duran, costume designer, the green dress, iconic. The score incorporates typewriting sounds, like, yeah, from a typewriter. Genius, honestly. I think that's such, like, who thought of that? Like, round of applause. I hope you won some sort of award. And Keira Knightley, we love Keira Knightley in this house, okay? Queen of historical dramas, period pieces, adaptations, all of it. Little Saoirse Ronan plays Bryony, and James McAvoy plays Robbie. And this takes place during World War II, by the way. So there's that aspect. You can sort of see like soldiers and stuff here. The 8-minute one take scene, also great. What else? Like, so much. It's also just like very visually pleasing. It looks great, cinematography and stuff. But I think the character is played by Benedict Cumberbatch, actually, in the film. And then something happens with him and Juno Temple's character. Like, what a cast. But that's something that I like remember sort of well. It at least stands out to me when I think about the book. So that's also something, those characters is something that I also want to like revisit, not just what happens with Robbie and Cecilia and Bryony and such. So anyway, really looking forward to rewatching this, possibly after I rewatch the film. We'll see. Or I mean, sorry, reread the book. That's what I meant to say. Okay, we have to keep going here, you know? So, although, I don't know. Maybe I'll stop after these. That's what I'm going to do. Wow. All right. I'm actually going to finish off with just these next two films that I also got from eBay. And then in the next video I'll do a follow-up haul with what I got in the Kino sale whenever that order arrives. And then also I have my Warner Archive purchases here. So because I have 10 movies from Warner Archives, I don't think I should include that in this video. It's going to be way too long. So I'm going to finish off with these next two films. Yeah, so next I have another Keira Knightley period piece, and that is Colette. I'm pretty sure this is on Amazon Prime, but I wanted to have it. Now I also have some special features, and look, it has the slipcover, which is so nice. And this is about Colette, who was a French writer. Her husband took credit for most of her work up until a certain point, and this is about her wanting to have her name on her own work, and mostly about that, but I'm sure there are other like nuances that I don't really know of because I only know so little about Colette as a historical figure, and I haven't watched the film yet, so I'm sure this is going to be something that probably me and my mom watch soon, or relatively soon, I don't know. My mom and I have been watching a lot of period pieces lately and films, classics. She's taken an interest in some classics, specifically ones with Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe because of some books that she has read that have to do with them. I won't get into it, but we've been watching a movie together every like other weekend or so, and right now she's on like a period piece kick, so yeah, probably will watch this with my mom. Fun fact, I guess. And then, so lastly here, we have Where Angels Fear to Tread, and this is just like a DVD copy, yeah, that I got off of eBay, and haven't watched this one yet because I realized I was reading the back and just looking at this and such, and I put the disc in to just make sure it like worked and all that so that I could like give a review on eBay of the seller, and then I started it. I was going to watch it like the night that it arrived. And then I was like, no, I should ask my mom if she wants to watch this. So I did. I brought the case downstairs and I was like, would you be interested in watching this? And she said yes. So I took out the disc. I took the disc out of my player and decided that I would wait to watch this with my mom. So I can tell you what it's about though, because I read the book. Pretty short. It's only like at least this copy is like 180-ish pages. So Where Angels Fear to Tread by E.M. Forster. By the way, don't read the back. I'm sure it might be different on other copies, but I did not read the back until like, I don't know why I read the back actually, but I was like about halfway through and like something major just happened on page 90 of 181. And it literally says it on the back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I didn't read it because then I would know like most of what happens. Like it's kind of hard to talk about what this is about because then I'll just tell you like everything that happens. The best way that I can say it is Lilia, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Lilia, Lilia, she is a woman, she marries into a family and then her husband, Charles, dies. And then this isn't really part of the plot, but it's part of like the story. So the family is like really sort of like possessive over Lilia. She can't really they don't like allow her to make decisions for herself essentially because they are like a more upper class family and she just doesn't know what's right and what's proper, and they're afraid of her like staining their reputation and such and making a bad name for them. So she goes off to Italy at one point in the beginning of the novel. She goes off to Italy, and then it's just kind of like things that ensue from there and trouble that she like gets into in Italy, and that her mother-in-law sends her son to like infiltrate and try to stop. So Philip, Lilia's brother-in-law, goes to Italy to try to like stop some things from happening, and I can't really go on from there, but the end was wild. Oh my gosh. So I'm like really looking forward to this, especially first of all, I'm pretty sure Merchant and Ivory worked on this, or at least James Ivory. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure James Ivory like worked on this, or one of them. I know one died at one point. I'm sorry, I don't know. Oh my God, I cannot. Okay, it's not telling me on the back. But anyway, so Merchant and Ivory, who also like worked on other E.M. Forster adaptations, like I think Maurice, right? But I know A Room with a View and Howard's End. Maybe Maurice. That's a question mark in my head. But like, great. Like, they're known for very like renowned adaptations, period pieces. And then also, this is directed by Charles Sturridge. Yes, Charles Sturridge, who was one of the directors and like main producers of the Brideshead 1981 miniseries. So I'm just like, high expectations, okay? Just high expectations. Especially the end it's going to be wild. High expectations. But I don't know. I think I'm going to like it no matter what. So that's it. That was a lot. But there's even more. So that'll be another video whenever my Kino order arrives. So yes, I'd love to know what you got during like any sales or like any recent purchases that you made. Thank you to random like a handful of people who have recently subscribed. If you're watching this video, thank you. Yeah, I have to wrap up now. Like, I have to go. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!